We've got the May Marvel previews here, and I'm just going to go through it, tell you a little bit about what I think. If I was a retailer sitting down with this, what can I sell? What can I not sell? What are my impressions? I haven't looked through the catalog, so I'm going to do it right now with you. Let's go through it together, see how this goes. Okay, so we're looking at Marvel previews for May of 2020. What I want to do is I want to walk through this catalog a little bit. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I want to give you kind of a retailer's view of this. This is how, as a retailer, I would be looking at this catalog. I'd be thinking about what to buy and kind of why and what's catching my eye and how I'm thinking about it. So right off the bat here, we're hyping Empyre. That's going to be the event that we're going to be into in May, and we're Empyre number 3. So we're almost at the midway point, I believe. And the crossovers are coming kind of fast and furious. One thing I'll draw your attention to is the 2020 Null is coming. There's a little Null logo. So we're hyping the current event, Empyre, and we're also telling retailers that Null is coming, which is another event coming later. So, events and events and events, that's what we like to do, to build an empire. So as a retailer, I'm looking at this, and I'm getting a little bit of preview art. And right off the bat, what I want to say is, look, here it's the three main characters. Kind of weird. When did Captain America's costume get an actual fly with a zipper under his belt? That's new. And this is kind of Thor's costume, although this doesn't seem exactly like I don't know. It looks like the happy-go-lucky Thor, not like the death metal god Thor that we're getting. But that's fine. The key here is it's the main characters, and I'm looking. This art is nice. It's good art. It's fairly detailed. The coloring is really good. Clearly a sci-fi kind of epic. There's nothing you can complain about here. You've got the characters in their iconic costumes. It's all looking pretty nice. I think here's, the Thing in some trouble. It's nice to see a Fantastic Four in what looks like a real fight against some real people and not some kind of goofy nonsense of, soulmate binding rings and other stuff. So, it looks nice. And as a retailer, I'm looking at this saying, I could sell this. Its Empyre has almost no momentum in the stores. People aren't asking for it. It's not getting a lot of hype. If anything, it's the main series people want. They're not into the crossovers. But if I'm looking at this is serviceable. It's a decent. It looks solid. There's Teddy there, and he's swiping up this thing, and no complaints. We'll get to this crossover here in a second, but one thing I want to draw your attention to is if I go here, we're looking at Empyre 3 of 6. So I guess this is the halfway point after this issue. They've gone for the Jim Cheung cover, and make no mistake about it, I think Jim Cheung is amazing. He's an incredible talent and everything else. But Valerio Cietti, I'm going to say that, and probably butchering the name. His art is great. I mean, look at this. This is decent, great art. And one of the things I think Marvel has done to its detriment is that they've used the Art Adams and they've used the Jim Cheungs of the world to make their covers, and it's kind of sent this message to the customers that what's inside is not going to be anywhere close to as good as the outside. The cover is the nice part, and then they kind of con you and trick you. But look at this art; it looks great. And so if I was Marvel, much as I love Jim Cheung, I would be going with what you see is what you get. Valerio Cietti is drawing this and is completely capable of drawing some epic stuff. So let's not, have the trick cover, at least not for the main cover. I think this is a misstep in what they're doing. A lot of variants there. Tony Daniel, Ed McGuinness. Ed McGuinness is a shame because the Avengers is kind of it's been a bad run and people are a lot less into them than they used to be. But anyway, Marvel previews May. Here's Empyre X-Men number 1 of 2. And we're getting Jonathan Hickman, Teenie Howard. That seems to be the group that's playing together. Gary Duggan, Benjamin Percy, Leah Williams for the second issue. 4 issues here. We're promising, hungry plants versus zombie Genosha people. I don't know. Okay. This is a bad plan. No, let me put it a different way. I think the X-Men are moving into their own crossover pretty soon. Every retailer knows this with the X of Swords, 10 of Swords that they're doing. So this is a guest appearance in another crossover. The X-Men need 2020 needs another House of X like moment for itself badly. I think, or it's in danger of kind of, fast forwarding through its the good. It's like the House of X powers at 10, at least in the shops, and how I've been thinking about it is like the 80s of building up a lot of goodwill with X-Men fans, and then the current situation with all the new titles coming out and everything else feels like the 90s, where they're starting to overexpose and burn through the characters. But hopefully they can turn that around. Anyway, we've also got Empyre, Savage Avengers, Gary Duggan, Greg Smallwood, Conan fights plant monsters. Okay. Here's Captain America, 1 of 3, Empyre. Ariel already. Yeah. Philip Kennedy Johnson. This is probably going to be decent. The Captain America's fighting. Unfortunately, this is unlikely to mean anything. It's also awkward. This is coming out at the same time as as his regular run, and this is probably going to be a more accurate Captain America story than what's going on in his regular comic. But we'll get that in a minute. This Empyre Storm Ranger. This is the sentient costume of Miss Marvel. And this is Dead on Arrival. I mean, this is just the costume just showed up like a few months ago. We can't a spinoff. Why are they doing this? This is very strange. There has to be some reason, but God knows what I have no idea what it is. Here we go with Thor, Pascal Ferry. Okay, this is nice. I mean, and he draws a hell of a good Thor in most cases. So. This could be pretty good. Pascal Ferry is great. Seeing him back on Thor, great. Don't know much about Ram V, but okay. These Savage Shores. Oh no, of course I know this. No, this could be good. This could be a good tie-in here. It's interesting because Empyre, I think, is suffering from event overexposure, and parts of Empyre as it's shaping up, I think, could have a lot more interest in the stores, but people are exhausted by it, by just crossovers. And we got Outlawed, and we've got promise of 2 X-Men crossovers coming out this year. One at the end of the year, and then X of Swords and Return of Null. I mean, you're killing the golden goose. You've got your hands around its neck, and you're just strangling the hell out of that goose. Here is Squadron Supreme, 1 of 2. Unfortunately, this is kind of just Mark Waid is writing about Squadron Supreme of America. This is a storyline going on in Avengers, but okay. This is the Killing Time crossover. When you got 2 issues in a crossover, I mean, 1 of 2, it's a bad. Again, Paco Medina cover. Okay, looks pretty good. Dio Neves on the inside. All right. You got to stop with these covers. I just think so. Okay, so here is Dustin Weaver doing a cover again. Dustin Weaver's awesome. I mean, this is some good stuff. But this is the invasion of Wakanda because Marvel badly needs a coherent strategy on Wakanda. It is all over the place. What's going on? The influence Black Panther has or doesn't have. Is he fighting in space? Is he on Earth? It's what is Wakanda? It's some consistency. The line in general is a terrible mess. And as retail, I'm looking through this, and what I think is, how do I get one title to sell another title? That's what you should be thinking. And they're doing something here. Look, she's in the kind of the Black Panther costume there, and she got the little Black Panther gloves. And all right, it's going to tie into the movie. Better again than the real title. Why are the sub crossover titles more connected to kind of either the iconic versions of the characters or the ones people know from the movies as opposed to their regular ongoing series? It's very weird. And why is the Wasp in Agents of Wakanda when she's also pseudo dating Iron Man, but maybe not anymore because we're in that storyline? I don't know. Here's the second issue of the Avengers. We're doing some mystical stuff here. Okay, they're in Mexico. That's fine. In general, and here's Ghost Rider. Okay. Spirit of pollution, spirit of corruption. They're fighting along. They're fighting plant monsters. I mean, that's clearly what's going on. Is plant monsters are going to get hacked up, which is good because you can be super violent. Nobody really knows. Celestial Messiah. All right. Great. This is got some Mantis in it. Here's Spider-Man. Huberto Romero's, but completely different team again. A variant cover by Dale Keown. I just the cover strategy is so strange to me. It is absolutely strange. But we're getting grass monsters, and here is the Union. This is kind of the new UK team of Union Jacks, Snakes, Kelpie, Choir, and Britannia. Sure. Is this somebody else who stole Captain Britain's sword, or is that why we have another? Like, did she find a shield that he wasn't using and she stole that too? Is that? I don't know. And then here's some more. Here's the Empyre, the Avengers, Fantastic Four. Here's some more stuff. Fantastic Four. Okay, fine. This is the actual regular series. So here's actual Paco Medina doing the interiors, and we've got kind of a reunion of Wolverine, Spider-Man, Hulk, Ghost Rider. Actually, is exactly what we have from the old Art Adams storyline a long time ago. This is going to gain some interest if you're in the store. Unfortunately, they're not. They need to hype it as kind of the return of that team, which was well loved, which that's kind of getting buried. And then here we've got X-Men 11, which is tying into Empyre. This is going to piss off people at Dawn of X, by the way, who are reading along, and then X-Men 11 is the trees are coming to kill the children, and it's an Empyre tie-in, but it's a tie-in inside the regular book. This is going to convolute just everything all over the place. And here's Captain Marvel. She's an accuser now. I made a joke on Twitter that her and her team are accusers, or hashtag Space Me Too. But I think it's a bad idea. Why are you keep doing storylines where Carol is villainous? I mean, let her be a hero. Like people actually, for all the people who bagged on the movie and everything else, the parts of the movie that worked and the parts of the movie that made money was you had this character, and whether you liked that she smiled or didn't smile or whatever she did, she tried to be heroic. She tried to do hero things. She tried to save the scrolls and do heroic things. Do heroic things in the comic. There's too much she sits around, she talks, she's depressed, she does something villainous, and then she kind of saves the day in the end. It's the writing of Captain Marvel is like they want it to fail, and the comic sales, again, as a retailer, you struggle with okay, what's the angle here? Okay, if we're over here, okay, Dawn of X people like this, but they won't like the fact that it's tied into everything else. All right, here's the Fantastic Four, that one run that people remember very fondly with Art Adams. We've got Nick Bradshaw, which is kind of like almost Art Adams, but not quite Art Adams doing this. So all right, we can sell that. This is going to be a tough one to sell because it's like, you're a bunch of characters I don't really know any of them except Union Jack. Here's Spider-Man. Good, he's fighting plants. Here is, I don't know what that is. So I mean, you kind of here's what will sell, here's what won't sell. Captain Marvel's a villain. No, make Captain Marvel a hero. Put her. Remember at the beginning of this video where she was in her iconic costume? Get her back into that. I'm just saying. Okay, here she is again, and she's about to hit somebody with a hammer. She won't actually. If you look at this hammer is coming. It's swinging. This character's coming in. That hammer's not going to make it. She's going to get punched right in the gut. That's what's going to happen there. All right, and here's Juggernaut. So that's the Empyre stuff. And there's a lot of Empyre stuff. I wasn't counting, but that's a lot of comics. Most of those are going to be a struggle to sell. The core issue is going to sell. I think Empyre will sell better than comic shops and people think, the core series, because the art is decent and it is featuring the heroes in their iconic costumes. And if you put both of those together, it generally does okay. It sells. But these tie-ins, there's too many tie-ins. It's going to dilute the line, and there's stuff that's just going to go on the shelf with 2 copies, and it's just going to kind of look pathetic there. So I wouldn't do it. Here we go with the Juggernaut. This is going to sell well. I mean, Fabian, Ron Garney, yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Let's do that. This title is going to sell like crazy, and it looks good too. I mean, it looks like kind of dark. Ron Garney's doing his stuff. This looks good. I mean, this is some good things. They've got to make it relevant to not just X-Men, just like a real good, gritty story. I mean, you could do stuff with this character. This is a character probably you could invest in and do some more things with if you do it all right. Okay, we got a couple facsimile editions. Here's Giant Size, Phantom X. We're into Dawn of X books now. Phantom X is a character that can draw attention, but is definitely a lot cooler than he was, say, cooler meaning cooled off, than he was, say, 10 years ago. So, but Rod Reiss and Jonathan Hickman, this is a very good team doing a comic. The New Mutant stuff was great, and I look forward to this. Okay, we got AIM. Sure, he's going back into the world. That Hickman talking about the world, I think could be great. So anxious to see what that's going to be about. Here's Children of the Atom, number 2. This is Vita Ayala. This is a book that got panned, I think, pretty hard because it's not only is it kind of knockoff X-Men, so to speak. It's not exactly what it is. It's like X-Men sidekick, high schoolers that are sort of kind of the X-Men, but not really. They've got similarities, to the powers of the originals. But VIL has block-botted like half of Twitter, so that's a bummer. That's not going to help generate any kind of goodwill. And these books with X-Men, I mean, they did a big thing. They got a lot of interest in X-Men, and they got a lot of people really hungry and salivating for the core characters. So immediately going sideways into, hey, what would it be like if there was some high schoolers that kind of dressed up like the original five? I don't. It's too early. You haven't got the foundation all right. So this book's probably being under-ordered right now. X Factor is probably is a tough one. Aaliyah Williams is very, very hit and miss with sales. People are still trying to figure out, is it, when it hits, is it Leah Williams? Is it the fact that, Mary Jane was drawn pretty busty? Probably that latter one. What is the thing going on? So if we're leading with this, okay. Or if we're leading with that, that's probably going to do better on the shelf. I'm just saying. I mean, comic nerds. I don't want to say it that way. I mean, I count myself among them, but they're predictable. That's probably gonna work. I don't know about that, but anyway, X Factor. The disappearance of a mutant dancer at a prestigious ballet academy in the Mojoverse. Leah Williams writing that story. Is going to worry me. Just saying. Hellions. Yep, this will sell. Not just because she's dressed in that, but Goblin Queen Madeline Pryor is a long-beloved X-Men character that's going to do well for sure. And so this I think Hellions is probably the second wave book outside of Wolverine. It's probably going to do one of the best. It's got a bunch of characters people like. It's got a bunch of B characters that are kind of fan favorites. Zeb Wells can do a decent story. This is the one that I'm hearing at least that will go well, and I think people will be all over that. Wolverine number 4. Oh, good. We're getting back to Omega Red and Victor. I'm definitely in on this. So Wolverine is off for kind of the Red Tavern and twists of mystery. And here's Victor Bogdanovic. He did the story that I liked better, or he did the art with Ben Percy, the second part of Wolverine number 1. So I'm anxious to get back to this storyline. Wolverine against vampires, let's see more of that. So Wolverine is a good seller. This is all good. Wolverine facing villains people know and recognize, having a good fight. Yep, that's as if you're a retailer, you're ordering in on that. Here's some classic stuff. All right, we're redrawing that. New Mutants 11. Yep, Ed Brisson is, here's, okay, we're getting some crazy stuff. Why not? I feel bait and switch though. I really liked the Hickman, New Mutants in Space storyline. I liked the humor. I liked the offbeatness to it. I liked it all. And then I feel like the other part of New Mutants is just not, why does he have candy stuck to himself? It's fine. That's my problem with this. Okay, here's Cable, Phil Notto, Gary Duggan, and Deadpool considers Cable one of his oldest and best friends. Cable hasn't met young Deadpool yet. Okay, and these two having wacky adventures together. I hope not too wacky. I mean, make it serious. One of the things that Cable worked is you can't do all. It was Deadpool and Cable for sure, but you can't do all wacky Cable. Don't turn every adventure into silliness. That's part of the problem with a lot of the writers who come into Dawn of X. They're known for doing kind of offbeat humor, and you need to have the serious, high stakes story that hey, that's why House of X, Powers of 10 worked. It felt high stakes, dangerous. You got to get back there. I mean, you've already taken away mutants' ability to die. You can't take it all away. Excalibur, this Blood of the Changelings, Citadel, Act of War. Excalibur must respond. I mean, this cover is going to sell some books for sure. People like Jubilee, they want to see her doing some big things. But Excalibur is kind of the weakest seller of all of them. It's the one that hasn't found its footing. So it worries me a bit that Teenie Howard is involved in so much of kind of the future plans, in the sense that her book isn't catching. So there's something about it that's not clicking. And maybe it will start and this kind of iconic Jubilee. You'll notice the theme in what I'm saying. When you have, and somebody may say, also just the old guy talking about old characters everybody recognizes. It's like, yeah, but if you're a retailer, characters that people recognize brings people to buy the comic. So when you're doing stuff like this is, something's going on, Jubilee's in trouble, there's fire. Yep. I mean, that stuff sells. Here we're putting Kitty to rest. They're apparently not going to resurrect Kitty Pryde, but of course they will. But something's going on here, so there's a mystery, and so we'll see how this plays out. X-Force, okay, again. Oh, we're getting Omega Red here as well. This is, I'll be curious, is this going to tie in? It's been Percy's writing both books, so these books should tie nicely in together, X-Force and Wolverine. So, they're not saying there's a tie-in, but hopefully there's a tie-in. This sells books. Again, it looks like something serious is going on. It's a very good cover. Here's Black Widow number 2. This is the relaunch of Kelly Thompson. I think, it's good timing since the movie's coming out. They need to do, some good, tight action stories. What they need to have is Black Widow doing lots of this. This is what they need, and lots of, these things, not the lipstick, but bullets. And they need to not do this. Like, don't have an issue of this. It's not funny if you have her shopping for pickles and then she can't find pickles and then there's some woman behind her with a gun. Don't do that. Just this, right? Not that. Don't go for that. A Taskmaster, great. This is also tied in because he's in the movie. 5-issue limited series, great. And looks like he's going to run up against the Squadron Supreme America, the thing that Jason Aaron has put into play. I think we're going to get more to that in a minute. And now, hey, here's the other event that's going on. It's Outlawed. Eve Ewing, who did a perfectly serviceable, good Ironheart, is now writing Champions. And she's, put them in Chicago. That's fine. That's where she is. They are fighting against Cradle agents. All right. And the Champions are protesting. All right. Protests are not as heroic as people think. I mean, there's just too many of them. It's not like, whatever. And plus, if they're all in their costumes protesting, I don't know. I just like, there's a mugging. There's a mugging going on in this alley back over here. And you got your signs over here. You got to get over, and Riri's tired of holding a sign. That's what we're seeing there. Okay. These comics, Black Widow, Taskmaster, I would have, for my second issue, given the Black Widow movies coming out, I would probably had Taskmaster doing something where he looked like again, that's a good cover. Do that when the movie's coming out and you're introducing the character. Probably not that, even though there's, nothing wrong with that, but, go for iconic right now. That's going to help. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. Here's some more Outlawed books. Miss Marvel, she's going to run into Dum Dum Duggan, Ghost Spiders. Some people are going after her. All right. She's fighting the Maker, like everybody else. We got a new Warriors comic 5-issue series. Again, all part of Outlawed. And, okay. More Outlawed, Miles Morales. Fine. Power Pack. I love Power Pack, but how is this? I mean, Julie was thirsty for the female Bucky over in Future Foundation. I'm wondering if they're bringing that over. That's Ryan North, so I guess they are. So anyway, the pack is here. Here's Strange Academy. Now, why? For the previous catalog, you're putting a lot of... This is a new book. It's an ongoing book. You're trying to bring out to really build some momentum before the next Doctor Strange movie. Maybe give this one a little bit more attention, I think. The art looks very nice. Huberto Romero's, a lot of people struggle with his art. I have no issues with it. I think it's fine, detailed. Definitely different takes on the characters, but I like these. I like different takes. I don't like all the art to look the same, and you can't argue that he doesn't put detail into his stuff. He does seem to care. There you go. So I just needed to turn the page. That's what needed to happen here. You're seeing this live like I am. I just wanted to do this together with you. That's good stuff. It's, again, good focal point character. Cover, what am I saying? Okay, it's Marvel zombie stuff. Resurrection. All of us got to have a zombies book, especially in time of coronavirus, apparently. Lots of zombies. It's because DC ceased, did well, so now we're getting some zombie books. Now we got Ed Brisson and Delkin Shalvey taking on the Punisher versus Barracuda 5-issue series. This is going to do well. This looks like the Punisher's in danger. Nothing wrong with this. Brian Stegman art. Here is Werewolf by Night. This book is not going to do well. And then we've got, the Marvels. This is Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross. And this book promises a secret. Lots of stories all tying in together. Nothing says, like, let's have a hot dog in the park, like Captain America sitting on a bench, like a crook. I mean, he's putting his feet on the chair. Doesn't seem like It should be reversed. Anyway, so we got some nice art. This is going to be a perfectly serviceable book, but unfortunately, kind of like Marvel's 1000 and some of these other things, we're training the readers that this stuff doesn't matter. And so I think this title is going to suffer a little bit from the fact that Marvel's 1000 did come out and it didn't really have any significance. And I know the guys that they introduced that Al Ewing introduced will certainly be very important in the future, but will he though? I don't know. So this is some nice stuff. Good art always by Alex Ross. Nice snapshot. All right, so 2020. Oh my goodness, 2020 Iron Man is still going on. Here is Wolverine, Wolverine #1. This will not, none of this stuff's going to sell right here. I mean, God, you're going to have a hard enough time putting Riri Williams in Champions for Outlawed. You don't have Riri Williams also in another book fighting her armor in this 2020 storyline that is just really struggling. Here's Iron Man 2020 #5 of 6. It's it means we're getting a long break between issue #3, which just came out here in March, and May. I guess never mind. What am I saying? But Tony Stark is back. Is it the real Tony? I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people do not care anymore. That's the problem. The Iron Man is being under-ordered hard at this point because those books are not selling. The goodwill is over, and unfortunately, a lot of retailers are looking at this going, well, the movie tie-in is gone too. So we got some problems. Spider-Man Noir. I've heard some really nice things about this as it comes out. I saw some preview pages. It should be pretty good, but again, it's gonna get lost in the shuffle. Marvel's publishing just too many books. Here's a new Spider-Woman. Again, already probably too many books. So while this could be quite a good comic, I'm still not sold really on this costume. It's an odd costume. It's better than her last one, but that's a costume I know. That's where I'll cop to being a old traditionalist. But Spider-Woman, a comic that just launched or hasn't launched yet, I should say, is going to vanish in the midst of the other 100 comics that are being hawked. Here's Amazing Spider-Man #45. We've got Sin Eater. He's back. Nick Spencer doing something with that. Mark Bagley back on Spider-Man. If you pay attention to Mark Bagley being back on Spider-Man, then this is something that retailers will order more of because that's Mark Bagley is known for Spider-Man, and Sin Eater is a good classic character, so people will be along for that ride. These are things people will do. Unfortunately, there's one issue, and then in issue #2, oh no, we've got a new artist. So second issue in this storyline, we couldn't get Mark Bagley to do more than one issue. I'll sell well. So anyway, then Mary Jane, Leah Williams continuing. I think this book sold surprisingly well at the beginning, and now it's dropping off as people realize that the story is still kind of goofy. But anyway, she's off to have some adventures. Gwen Stacy is here as well. We're gonna have a 5-issue comic with her, and here's more Ravencroft, which is at the end 5-issue series. It wasn't really promoted as a limited series initially. You had to kind of dig to find that, but this is the end of that. That book is these books are struggling as well. And now we got Venom. This is starting the new storyline of Venom Beyond, which is going to bring us Virus, which is like Donny Cates insists is not War Machine with Venom stuff painted on him. Okay. Here is some other stuff. Mobius, again, is a comic that's likely facing cancellation. Vita Ayala is on this, and I think we're right almost at the end of this book's title. Even though the movie is coming out, it's going to limp across the finish line to when the movie comes out into the theaters, maybe. Here's Marvel Spider-Man, Black Cat. Hey, it's J. Scott Campbell, and she stole Iron Man armor. Right? The Scream's Curse of Carnage book is again, this is the Remnant now. So now we're into, Thor. Donny Cates' Thor is doing very, very well, and people are liking that. Again, these are covers that sell. It's got a lot of good buzz. You're ordering high on this. Here's Savage Avengers, number 13. I had to just look here. I mean, please note, I'm a half an hour into this. This is going to be one of the longest videos ever done, and it just will not end. Savage Avengers is a book that had a really lot of good buzz coming in, and it just, they fooled around with the team a little bit too much, and it was like a Conan book in modern times, and they messed with the different characters. I think a lot of people had some enthusiasm for kind of the original team, and then they changed the team, and Dr. Voodoo was there, and he wasn't, and now maybe he's here again, and they're up against Cool and Goth, and it's like this book has lost almost all of its momentum in shop. Ghost Rider is doing well. It's still Aaron Kudar is doing a lot there, but we're switching out the art. Ed Brisson's doing a good job on that title. That's selling well. And then we get to Avengers. Here's Javier Garron, Jason Aaron. The Avengers are going to, this is the Moon Knight storyline where they're up against the Moon Knight and ancient Egypt because New York has been. But what in the hell are you doing here? I mean, this isn't a responsible parenting. This is like, I mean, you've got armor. Like, this is the biggest, dick move by Tony Stark. He's in a full-blown armor suit, and the baby is hanging off in this cloth baby carrier. Like, the baby's going to get squashed. Like, I mean, this is just the worst place to put the baby. You put him in the front. He's above your chest plate. This is very irresponsible parenting. Anyway, so we got that. Immortal Hulk, which is it started out really well and has lost some steam. Still one of Marvel's better books, but the whole fighting rucks and social evils and that Facebook thing did cool some attention on the title. Still's doing well, but grateful humanity knows who saved them all. The Hulk, in theory, So could this be a happy ending? The kids like the Hulk. Oh, wait a minute, who's this back here? It's this guy. Yeah, his head looks like balls. I didn't realize Alex Ross. God, now I'm wondering what photo reference did he use? No, move on. All right, no happy endings. I like how could we get a happy ending? No. That's got to give Hulk credit for this. Al Ewing. Question, answer. Can we have a happy ending? No, all the kids are dead. That's their blood all over you. Button your pants, Hulk. But and there's the leader. Balls. Anyway, here's Ta-Nehisi Coates, the title that just keeps going. All Die Young continues. For Peggy Carter Live Again, must Sharon Carter pay the price? I don't know. Here's Doctor Strange, Kev Walker. I like that they got Dr. Druid in here again. That's good. Again, they got to do something more significant here. Surgeon Supreme, it's an interesting take on the character, but this is a book that all the retailers, everybody kind of assumes is going to be changing quite a bit before the movie comes out. It has to. Okay, Hawkeye Freefall. Oh, it's poor Matt Rosenberg. His book's like relegated to the, this backup here. What's going on with Hawkeye's mouth? Anyway. And Falcon and Winter Soldier 2. You got a Disney Plus series coming out, and you just, we'll cram those two together. The two titles that are that will have a Disney Plus series soon. Yeah, we'll just put them here on one page. Why not? Marketing. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Black Panther. We're almost done. And we're getting Killmonger. He's got Venom or a symbiote on him. Okay, he's not dealing with Null. All right. Nebula is that is a dead title by far as well. The first issue came out, didn't do well. Atlantis Attack, same thing. I mean, these are some of these stories that they're putting into these things are good stories, but they're just, again, you've got 80, 90 comics. So retailers, by this point in the video, they're like me. They're just like, I just ran up a flight of stairs. I can't do it anymore. Doctor Doom. This is a perfectly reasonable title as well. There's some interesting stuff going on, but again, it's lost in the noise. It's got a small core following, but you're not ordering a lot for the shelf. Avengers: Age of the Wastelands. This is not a bad comic, but again, when are you going to notice? Runaways perfectly fits the audience that it's there for. They're going to high school. Oh, why would you put him in this? Like, you can get a full shirt. I know he's big, but like he destroyed the whole shirt. It's not like if he's so big he couldn't wear the shirt. It would just like be a belly shirt. He'd be like, I don't know. This is exploitation of aliens. Guardians of the Galaxy. This title got a couple, some good attention. I think Al Ewing coming onto the title. Donny Cates did the book, but it didn't. It again is one of his kind of misfires. He got some attention. There were some fans that definitely liked it. But by the time like the fourth issue had come and gone, it was losing some momentum for sure. I'm not completely sure why. Maybe the art team, there's something about it just didn't catch like Cates' other books. Al Ewing brought some attention back. Here's issue 5. Will we be there? Hard to say if it's going to keep going. Strike Force. Why? Do you bring Deadpool into these books that are on life support? It does not. It hurts Deadpool. It doesn't help the books they're going into. Ant-Man 5 of 5. All right. Okay, they're going up against bees. And here's Star, the title you demanded, and no, she's into the Black Order. Okay, so the generals of Thanos have come for the Reality Stone, but everything Star has been through, she's learned a lot about the power bonded to her. So the Black Order expects to find a novice, but we'll find a dragon. And whoever wins this fight, the Marvel Universe is about to be a much more dangerous place for everyone. All right, I am confused. Again, when you've got 80, 90 books and you need to put your attention to some books, don't do experiments like this one. Get the books you've got right. You've got too many titles. Daredevil, this is great. One word today. This is an annual, technically, but Chris Sprouse this will be a book that people order pretty big. This will also, again, I don't know about these belts, but it is a good icon. It's a good cover. He's got a good pose. It will sell well. Truth or Dare. Truth Dare starts here. I'm picturing like Daredevil like sitting on the floor with the other defenders like, lick this bottle cap or you got to tell a secret. They probably won't be that kind of Truth or Dare. Swordmaster, Arrow. Yep, they're there. Deadpool is a book. Deadpool's a book that surprised me because you had Chris Bacalo. Now you've got Gerardo Sandoval. And this book is, you put in Elisa Bloodstone. That's cool. Elsa Bloodstone, not Lisa. What am I saying? Elsa Bloodstone. And she's with Daredevil. This should be a good book, but the sales are not necessarily reflecting that. It just hasn't gotten the same kind of attention. Valkyrie's about ready to be canceled, but she's having a beer with Loki, so that's cool. Oh, he's about to stab her. Sneaky bastard. Looks like he's just having a beer trying to say, I don't know. This is like a pickup line, and then like, I'd look in the mirror. Where's the bartender? Oh. How to read comics the Marvel way. This whole concept offends me. A lot of ways. Have you been having trouble reading our comics? Let us tell you how to read them. Start by paying $3.99. Anyway, this should be good, but it's not going to be. Man, this video is too negative. I need to get to the end of this. They're wiping me out. I was not prepared for a marathon. Conan the Barbarian number 16. Conan's doing all right, but again, sales. They said, here we go. Battle for the Serpent Crown. Dark Agnes. Dr. Aphra. Okay, only Conan. And here's some Star Wars. We got Dr. Aphra here. She's doing her thing. Star Wars number 6. This series got a bit of a revitalization with the Empire Strikes Back storyline, and both these covers will do well. So maybe, again with the, Jesus Sanz is a decent artist. RB Silva is, I think, probably a better artist, but no issues with Jesus. So the bait and switch stuff. Okay, here's Darth Vader burning some kid alive. And Bounty Hunters. This is the books that won't sell as well. And now we're into Marvel Action, i.e. the kind of the, not IDW. Well, it is IDW. What am I saying? It's IDW. All right. Doctor Strange has lost his cape. And they've tied some people up. Kitties. They've tied up kitties. And there's that. Most kids won't go for this stuff. And then we got some statues and other some stuff. I could go through all this, but good gravy. We are at page, oh God, what page is this? 161. It's just a lot. And if you're a retailer and you're looking at stuff like this, it all starts to do this to you. And so what you do is you look for the titles that you kind of recognize. There's Hulk, I'll order that. Iron Man 2020, ooh, less of that. Marvel Tales, Hailstorm, nope. Resurrection, yeah, maybe. Marvel's X. You get exhausted through this. And there's too many books. This is too many titles to try and hawk at any given time. But anyway, that's my take. This was a very long video, way too long. If you made it to the end, good for you. 40 minutes, I'm beat. So what are your thoughts? Those are some of mine. Do you want to see more things like this? I can go through it again. This is torture for me. So tell me you really love it because I'm not coming back to this well. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch. I'm going for a beer.